This stuff here, Yerushalmi Shabbos, the article Ozved Russian. We're on Daf Kuf Aleph Amud Aleph. We're starting the Gemara, which is in the uh, the sixth line down, and in the Vilna that is on Pei Beis Amud Beis, starting the Gemara on Halacha Beis. Okay, so the article has a header here for the Mishnah. Note that Kunas Yitzol Bogos. A person can take a hammer to chop nuts. So the Gemara says, Hashalola Fatzea Bolo. Sounds like that if you're not carrying it to take the chop nuts, you're not allowed to carry the hammer. But Maslis Rabbi Nechemia. Hammer's going to Rabbi Nechemia, not Rabbi Nechemia. Any told so it's right that kalim cannot be carried unless it's for an appropriate purpose on Shabbos. So the Nia points out that the Yerushalmi at this point seems to hold that a kli shamachto iser, which normally goes for a forbidden purpose, is nitav shlo tzorach. It'll be carried even if it's not for a purpose of the tzor gufo makomo. Later on, the Yerushalmi is going to change its mind on that. But at this point, it seems like the Mishnah Yerushalmi say that only according to Nechemia is a kli shamachto iser forbidden to move, but according to Chachamim, you'd be allowed to move it on Shabbos. Rabbi Yehuda Rechina B'Hashem B'Shem Rav said, Chachamim can see them in Nechemia that there's certain kalim which are not allowed to move. B'Zaira, Zaira, U'Mezaira, U'Mechina. Moshe explains Zaira Dav Atzabash. Well, actually, it goes on the next slide, but Zaira do Atzaba. So Moshe says, evidently it is presses fruit out of beverages out of fruit. Sorry. In Missouri, do chovet based on motes, psolas. Chazor is something which you use in order to beat out chaff and refuse. Sakuna shu bachish bay is something which you use in order to mix. These cannot be carried. These even at this stage, evidently the can be taken for any purpose whatsoever. Not just this is can't be taken unless it's even this can be taken unless it's or else something which is mutter to do on Shabbos. Like Moshe says, anytime Shabbos, so even at this stage, that we're saying that according to Chachamim you can take Kli Shemach L'Eser, there's certain Kli Shemach L'Eser which you can't take. They're not Muktzah Machmas. So kiss, you cannot, according to Moshe, it's not, you can't move them at all. But you can't move them except for L'Tzorach, even at this early stage in the development of Halacha. So where it says, again, B'Zayid do Atzaba, you suppress. B'Mzayra, the do Chavit Ba, used in order to pound out the refuse, and B'Muchayna do Katish Ba was something which you use in order to crush in any event. Now Yerushalmi comes with the what we hold nowadays is the standard. Kliyam yuchal le'isr matavnu so l'tzorech. A kli which is yuchal le'isr, you can take l'tzorech when you say l'tzorech means tzorech gufa makomo. L'heter ben l'tzorech so it's a kli which shemachtu l'heter, normally used for mutter purposes, you can take l'tzorech and shlo l'tzorech. Rabbi Yosef said, "Re'eh arecha kili v'Shabbos." See how more lenient they were in terms of Shabbos. Shafil dvarim she'ein mitashir shem Shabbos. Even things which normally you can't use on Shabbos, Shabbos, they permit you to move it if it's for a purpose on Shabbos. Now here it says in the Vilna Demar, check the article. Article also has Demar, but the Yerushalmi Kipshuta points out that it probably should be Amar. It's going on. It's a new statement. Amar Rabbi Lazar said, "Lupike lama hu tame." So the lupike is as a says the Korneda, Kli H Masila of Kli Hayain going to Kosas Vashoshios. It's like a coaster. So why is it telling me? Because it's not just Mishamish a Keli, because a Keli which is Mishamish another Keli is not Makabal Tuma. No, it's the shamash uses it in order to evidently to eat upon. Uh, so the nation shamash ochel. Bussies today lama yitmea. The so what about the base of the dual kupei? As the Pnei Moshe Korban says, bussies today can the base shadul became munachal and name mahitmea l'chorez mishamish kalim, right? It's a kli which is shamish of the kalim. Shamash omeid aleh. So everything it's not a small not small coaster and not a small base because the shamash ever stands upon it. So I guess it's a large. The duplicate is a coaster not for a individual cup but for many cups, and that's why the shamash eats upon it because it's not just a small coaster and a miniature table. It's considered as a normal table, and the reason why. The base is mitame is because it's not a small base. It's something which a shamash can use as a step. So the re'ad echad echmir b'tuma. So see how much of macher by tuma, very much as we say before on Shabbos. I see now why demar could work as a legitimate kirusa, because it still doesn't. It's connected to previous suya. Demar is a little bit difficult, but it could be saying okay, it's a similar thing. Even things which are their purpose is literally like no, it really is correctly this way. They're not normally used as a tablet, meaning as a tablet to eat from. Right, it's usually used to hold cups and other things. Timos tavla. They metame it as if it's a tablet, as if it's a table, and the Korban Eidah points out the specific extent of the chumrah. Even though it seems like just a simple piece of wood, right? It's a flat piece of wood. Nevertheless, because it is used occasionally, it's used as a table, so therefore they gave it gave it the status of a table in terms of being makabel tumah. I just noticed that in the Radal and Tudu Yerushalmi, to deal with the Demar question, they put the A at Hechamir B'Tura juxtaposed to Rabbi Yossi above A at Hechamir Shabbos. So then they put that A above there, and then they bring Demar. Because the Rabbi Eliezer is going as a riot to that A, so they switch around the order. So according to the way they read it, Re'ad Hechan Echmir B'Tura V'Shafil Marim Shem Tavla Timas Shem Tavla Demar Rabbi Eliezer Glubakei Lamei Tamei etc. Okay, so Esa Rachas is Mosaic L'Seis Olel Katan. There's a quote from the Mishnah. The Kushva Karka Litrobo also go from Mishnah. Rabbi Simon said, "Surely Rabbi Avo Rabbi Pur Minimi Mesif Kalores B'Shabbos." So the Korban Eidah learns that a kilores is a tachboshes, it's a bandage, but normally kilores is an ointment, eye ointment. I'm not sure why it says it's a bandage, but he says that Mesiv they understand here to mean to remove it if it's bothering you. It could be. I'm not sure it's necessarily you have to learn it that way. Mesiv can also mean to spread, like Kulon Masubin, we spread out, right? So the question is, Mesiv Kiluris B'Shabbos, can you apply Kiluris on Shabbos? And of course, the heter of Zayis Mishnah, right? Bob Arkakoy B'Shem B'Shem Amshes Mesti Samakain, of course. So Malcolm Tzar Locos Rabbanim Machat Shiali to Bos Hakots, right? They could take a needle, which is mukta to remove the thorn which got stuck in your skin. Lochim Mabin Zelakol Mabin coats as well. What difference is there with this and the thorn? Can you make kilurin on Yom Tov? So he said, "I'm like eno ochel nefesh." He said it's not ochel nefesh. And therefore it's also, but that's the Korban Eidah. Moshe says the exact opposite. It just says he says it's bitmia. He says v'chi eno ochel nefesh. It's not ochel nefesh. It's shame. Shalisha mutar is yard. The kach mutar the gabin is a gvina. Oh, he's going. Okay, that's he's going on the cheese in the Mishnah according to Bnei Moshe. But then he says on the cheese not in this Mishnah. I guess it's in the Mishnah there in oh yeah, Gubas Sakvina. It is a Mishnah. Gubas Sakvina. Okay, that's difficult. That's what Pnei Moshe is going on the cheese. But I'm not sure why I would say that. Why did you just say it's going on the kilurin? He's asking Mama Gavalta B'Yotav whether you're allowed to make the kilurin Yotav, and he said, "Isn't it ochel nefesh?" It's davar shevel chol nefesh. I guess he didn't want to get the issue whether refuah and shevel chol nefesh. Okay, therefore he would say it's going on the cheese. Okay, so Korbaneh says going on the kilurin, and it's also because it's not Shavuot Chol Nefesh, even though from our mission see Malcolm Tsar is Shavuot Chol Nefesh, but it's you're not allowed to make it a Yotif. And the Bnei Moshe says going on the cheese in our Mishnah. And it's saying, can you make cheese on Yotif? And he's saying you're allowed to make cheese because it's Lisha, and Lisha you're allowed to. So I think that's the Yerushalmi. The Lisha is Magami Shem Lush, whereas the Shita Baba is because of Baina, which would be also on Yotif. And the simple shot, as I said, that would be it's talking about the kilurin, like the Korbaneh, but you could read like Pnei Moshe. That's B'Tmiya. Ochel nefesh, not ochel nefesh. Nefesh should be mutter, like machal sheyaz lita basakot. Okay, says the next Mishnah. Kana shlozesim. If you have a stick, which you use in order to turn over the olives in the after they've been. Let's read it. Go here. Lachem is because after you harvest the olives, it's over matan. You gather them in a container. Shamlo misasi toichon, and the oil collects there. It collects there. It says and get easier to come out. Yesh kind of left go bone. He has a stick to turn it over. Leave dokim come because to see they became properly. I don't know, rotted is the right term, soft. Megillah based about then he brings them to the olive press. So this stick, if it has a kind of like a thickness at its head, so then Makabel Tuma. It's Makabel Tuma because it's a kli because of that thick head. It's not just two thick heads. Not in a Makabel Tuma, sign Makabel Tuma, Bank on Dita B'Shabbos. No matter what, it is you're allowed to move it on Shabbos because it's a keli and not just a stick, which would be muksa. The says the thickness at the top, as is not clear about it, but the Moshe says because the Imeshka Shosha came Kaksha Bekana Kumus like the cork at the having the stick which I'm not sure it's not necessarily a cork, it's something whatever. It's something in a pen, Makabo Tuma, Fisha Mishtari Bakesha Shemin Zomi as they seem because it's like hollowed out this thickness. And Ava remains there. What's the kasha roba and these rakuzation? You're supposed to potentially there to see if the olives came soft. Let's see shama. But a keshka base kibo and the knot there at the end. I think this is like a base kibo. Okay, so the Bei Rabbi Yane Amri Konashit Helios both exist. When it says that this, like we said, this stick is a stick which is used in order to check the olives. Ketzat. How does it work? If you know that if it gets moist with a beverage which is emerging from these olives in this container, then the malacha of this container, which is to soften them up, is complete. If not, and you know that the work of the matzah is not complete. It has to remain there. Says Gemara, Raimona said that's not enough to consider the keli, but rather Elios Sholabo Esazesim. It's in order to used in order to actually lift up the olives. So evidently that's what makes it into a keli. That it's used to remove the olives. So the Kabbalah of the, I guess, of the cock, of the just to receive moisture, that's not enough because I guess the moisture could adhere to it whether it had the base kibble or not. You don't need a base kibble for that. You just can see moisture is adhering to the stick. So therefore, it has to be a base kibble, which is more significant. It has to be something which you use in order to move olives to the matter. Kanashit kilios pogi chalon. If you, this is this appears many places in Shas. You have a stick which you use in order to stop up a window. The so the Neymar kosher with totally poking bows. Let's say that it is like the stick which we had previously, where you use it in order to close the door. That if it is tied to the window and it's hanging from the window, not on the ground, you can use it in order to close the window. We'll have a poking bow, and otherwise you can't use it. Mitkan, no, if it's prepared, doesn't for the purpose. Kosher, even if it's not tied and hanging, it's still okay. V'lo chein, Rabbi Yochanan say, Mashcheni chilfei, Ilfa in the Bavli, Ilfa pulled me, Verani Nagar Bishel base Rebbe. He showed me the Nagar, which is again this type of stick in the house of Rebbe, kosher avavisheno tali, that if it's tied and not hanging, and that's as many of said, it's neither one, right? It's because it's a third shita. We had kosher with tali or just freestanding, but now it seems that it has to be kosher, even though it's not tali, even though it's not hanging off the ground, it's okay. It has to be hanging. So it says Pnei Moshe, Amar Yudan, Klamai Le'ola Kam Shigam Lios really. Goes to Shigam Leo. It became a Shinel Notla Vanessa Toch Yodo. Lachni Lekach, since you take it and put your hand to prepare for this purpose of using for the window. Kach Nasikam Aftech. Therefore, it's like a key. And you can open. You can use it to open and close. Who should hero kosher that which Chilvei showed Yochanan was tied is damrukach. That happened in the case. I guess they didn't want to lose it, so they tied it. Galosha Tzali is kosher. That doesn't have to actually be tied. That it'll be skill lukach nami sagi. So if you just prepare for that purpose, that would also be enough. You know, sometimes like some windows, casement windows, you turn that handle in order to shut them. So I guess the parallel would be that handle. They have to be not passing here aloha ma'isa, but this handle have to be connected to the window before Shabbos, or can you remove it and move it on Shabbos itself? Okay. Says Mar Kolkein to him Shabbos could say Mesa Godo. You can move any keli except those which are never meant to be moved except for special purposes, such as a large saw and the peg of a plow. Okay, we can take whether it's for a purpose and not for a purpose. Maybe this obviously we referenced at the beginning of our discussion today. Okay, says Gemara. Rabbi Yehuda Shem Rav said, "Look, Rabbi Nechemia. You can only take the tzorach. But now, question is what the tzorach means. So now, Rabbi Yochanan Rabbanan and the Tamon, Yochanan Rabbanan Baba said, Chadamar, the tzorach is the tzorach gufo. So so it says the Amatana Kama, when he said cooking to the tzorach is the tzorach gufo, right? And shalol tzorach is shalol tzorach gufo. And it says, it has to be. Okay, you don't have to use it, not for it itself, but for the purpose of its place. I have a shalotzer cloud for you to Tanakama. So if it's a shalotzer cloud, even Tanakama holds that is also. And Rabbi Yechemia Omer, Yechemia says, ain't until El Tzarkufo. You can only take them Tzorach Gufo, you can't take Tzorach Mukamo. Chranamar, the other side, the Tzorach is I say they both say the same thing. They don't know. Chranamar, one of the two said Tzorach Gufo, Tzorach Gufo, Tzorach Gufo. The other, Chranamar, the other of these two and we don't know which is which, but in this Malchut Rabbi Yochanan Rabban Tamon, it says the other man, the Omer says it's tzorech is a tzorech gufo, tzorech makama. So that that's considered tzorech, and when you can't to that, shlo tzorech is shlo tzorech gufo, shlo tzorech makama. It's not, but rather it says kamei and mecham itself, just to move it like from the sun to the shade. Right, so Tanakama is matir with that, and obviously, if that's the case, our Mishnah Klisha Machtor Heter. Rabbi Nechemia Omer any told him Tzara Gufo Tzara Makoma. Nechemia says you can only take them with Tzara Gufo Makoma and not for the purpose of Michamo itself. Tiny, I think that's the shot. Yeah, yes, Bnei Moshe, just to mention, Bnei Moshe and the Mishnah said yes. That whole, we're talking about Klisha Machtor Heter. The discussion here is about what Machogas Rabbanon and Nechemia is for Klisha Machtor Heter. Tani, Rabbi Yudan, we learned Rabbi Yudan said, "Lo yukabei shari tefillah malei mishum tafin and social tzorech." Moshe brings in machlokas. Plutai b'toisefta perak tezvav. The Gar Yerushalmi says there, "Shem ein yitol el tzorech." The so name l'tzorech shelo tzorech. And the local keli malei. They're not talking about a keli which is full of food. And also on empty ones. Yesh b'daitel malosam hayom. You want to fill them today. Sometimes don't feel slow to go for no common. You can't have even slow to go for no common. The mias we inhale them a loss because they're suitable to fill. There's the tzorich l'mayla sh'toichan. You need whatever is inside them or will be inside them. Manachlu, what they argue about are we cutting an empty kingdom. Empty kingdom she'aim b'daitel l'malos hayom, which you don't have in mind to carry today, to fill today. So that's it. So I tell Rabbi Yonah Lunch b'Shabbos Yom Leim Shem Tapim Osam Shlo Tzorech. If they're full kingdom, we have to carry them. So it's if they're empty, if you have mind to fill that day. What's that machlokas? So she'em b'daitel malosar, empty kalim, which you don't have a mind to fill that day. Shebeshamay osrim, v'yisel matim. Beshamay asers, v'yisel matir. It's a klisha machtor heter. You don't have mind to use it day. Asi the Beshamay come in Nechem. Beshamay is going to be Nechem. The even klisha machtor heter is only can be carried so kufel komo. So at a marta halacha from Nechemia of lo halacha Beshamay. So as Bnei Moshe says, so how could you say before, right? That going back on the beginning of the Gemara, right? Yachi Adam Adel b'Shem Rav Lokam Yechem v'Lo Lokam Yishamai. B'Tmi Avlo b'Shem Lokam B'Shem Mishnah. How can you that paskin like B'Shamai b'Mokam B'Shem? Right, you're passing chumrah as Basil is mako. The Korban is a slight different shop. I'm not sure. It's a little bit difficult what he says, so let's gloss over what the Korban says at this point. Okay, halacha. Kol kem nitolim b'Shabbos. Any keli which is carried on Shabbos, shivev and breaks. Nitolim. The broken pieces can be carried as well. As long as they can still serve some purpose of malacha, such as should we have a reva, the broken piece of mixing bowl, the chasas boy as pia chavetz to cover then the opening of a jug, it shows chuchis of glass, show chasman pia bach to cover the top of a tin. They have to be it's not if they do some malacha. They have to do something similar to original malacha, such as shiva areva, the broken pieces of the mixing bowl, the tzukatocha mikveh, to pour them a kind of porridge, which I guess they can still hold. Shows chuchis, and if it's of glass, let's shemen in order to pour inside them oil, which is similar to what glass containers were used for to begin with. Okay, that brings us to the bottom of the Amud. Let's do the Mishnah Gemara. This is a quick Gemara. Tamati, we looked over there. Chuchis likra glass. If you take it on Shabbos, you took enough glass to sharpen the top of a stick. Kakar is like I think a weaving needle or something like that. It says it has to be the glass is only be a keli if you can use it in order to cover a vessel or to pour in the oil that's much larger. The Kisari said, they said if it's a thick piece of glass, you can't use it to sharpen the top of the stick. So it's a larger shear. If it's sharp piece of glass, you use the sharp top of the stick. It's smaller. So therefore, it's a different shear. Used to be a name of those who want to say kama without kama moitzi. In order that it should be muktzah to carry, it has to be to carry around. It has to be right for to be a keli mamish. A keli mamish would be to cover it with something. To be moitzi, it doesn't have to be a keli. It has to be something which is usable. So therefore, even if it's smaller, like Karmeya says, I feel ain't no keli. Kol sheish bo tzorach chayiv, anything which has a tzorach, in other words, has some purposeful use for it, even if it's not good to be a keli, that you'd be chayiv for being motzi on Shabbos. Okay, now we'll stop here for today.